behind you.
How y'all doing today?
Doing well. You want something to sit on?
Sure. Thanks. Well, today I wanted to talk about the healing journey and how the healing journey plays out in life. And the first thing I want to address is that it's a misconception that not you, but people will tend to say like, oh, I'll have this when I heal that, and I'll do this when I heal that. And the thing is of course that it's things that we have to heal in order to obtain a vibration, obtain something physical in our lives. But ultimately, the healing journey never stops. So once we realize that we have to not complete, but enter in a journey that's a lifetime journey, and understanding that there's going to always be something that needs to be healed, and we can't like limit ourselves to a certain future destination and saying that, oh, this is when I'm going to be happy, or this is when I'm going to decide to do this. It's an ongoing journey, an ongoing process, and basically, when the healing is done, life is over, and it's on to the next lifetime. It's on to the next journey.
And you can look at it as just begun, really.
Yeah. It's not a destination. It's a journey.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
Just begun.
Yeah. There's a saying that we're never born and we never die.
Right. You said that last night? Oh my God. That's what Dan said. Oh my God, exactly that. Yeah, Holly told him that. Yeah, the dude, Holly told him. He came and...
Who's Holly?
The Hindu goddess. Holly.
Of what?
Of destruction.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is that with the snakes?
Yeah. No, with the black face.
She's the one that sticks with her tongue. She has like the head and her
skull
right hand and
everything. Yeah. She wears skull. Yeah. But he had a dream. He couldn't tell me there's no birthdays, no that.
Wow.
Until he got her. Yeah, but I mean, it's so synchronicity. They were just saying that.
I was just going to say that, synchronicity.
Easy.
So it's important to not limit ourselves and not put destination points on the things that we want to accomplish and things that we want to do in life, because you never really know when it's your time to go unless you have like that intuitive feeling that's gonna happen. That's the thing.
That's not always right though. I intuited I die at 72, so I was sitting there waiting. I'm 73, so that intuition was wrong, folks. You know what I mean? But as a little kid, I said, 60 years. At 12 years old, I said, I'm going to live 60 more years.
That's interesting because when I was younger, I could never see myself as an adult.
Yeah.
I just didn't see past that point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was me. I wasn't even past 72. so much for that.
But your journey's changed. Or,
Yeah,
you know, your
that's
path's
true.
changed,
Yeah,
so
that
now,
changed. Yeah.
here you are, and it's all here you are. So
Yeah, right.
Energy shifts.
73, yeah, 73 years young.
you can change your future. Like, if there's something
Yeah.
that you're meant to do here, then
Yeah.
you're going to do it regardless, but you can always change how, you know, you go about doing that.
Yeah.
That's why, like, my dad, he's really religious, so he's always, like, against people going, like, doing cards and, you know, telling for, like, the future and this and that. And I'm like, well, you know, even if you went to someone, they were like, oh, this is going to happen to you, da, da, da. Like, okay, you can take it into consideration, but it doesn't necessarily mean that that is going to happen, because it's up to you if you if you believe in them, be like, oh, that is going to happen to me, and you follow, you know, then you're walking right into it. But if you just be like, all right, you know, take it as a possibility and do whatever, then you can end up somewhere else. You know, maybe that doesn't happen. It's like, I've proven it many times for myself, so it's like, so I don't take it so, you know, seriously.
Well, sometimes it's a wake-up call.
Yeah,
When you get the
it's a
cards,
message,
yeah.
definitely. It's a
Really.
message to you, and then it's up to
If
you
continue
from that point
the
on what you
path
want to
this
do.
will happen, then you're going to have a choice to change the path. So sometimes it's a good thing. It really is. Oh, this is what's in the cards for me. I
Right,
must
so
do
it's-
something different.
It's like advice. It's like a,
Yeah.
Yeah, and the energy shifts, the outcome can shift. And sometimes just hearing that message is what's going to change it. Because it was
Yeah,
unconscious, now it's conscious, and it's like at the forefront. It's- you make the changes so it doesn't happen. You know, and that's another thing like about life. You know, they say this is they say Earth is the only planet where you go through the veil of forgetfulness. You forget everything.
Yeah, right.
Every other planet or every other reality realm, whatever you want to label it, they come in already knowing their past lives and already knowing their mission and everything.
I think the kids coming in now know. I think some of the very young children coming in now have transcended a lot of the time baggage, and they already come in. Because they're doing a purpose at 4 years old. So that's the only explanation.
But they
that
be
makes sense
having
to me.
knowledge that you're like, what?
Yeah.
Like, my daughter, she's 6, and ever since, like, she was able to talk, sometimes we'll just be sitting there, she'll come out saying something, like, really spiritual, and I'm like, oh, okay, you know, but, like, she's teaching me, like, I would have never thought of that. I'm like, oh my God, like, that just came from my child, you know, and she's still, like
Aurora. Katie always says that Aurora raised her. Aurora is something else. Really something. Yeah, she really is amazing. But that's what I'm saying. These kids come in and they don't seem to have the karmic baggage, and so they're coming in with a purpose. I'm the one who just a wee little thing, and I didn't think she could reach the faucet. No, in the bathroom. Would you like some help? No, and she just stood on her tiptoes. And no thank you, though. Very polite, and just did it herself. And, you know, it was hard, but she did it. Very self-possessed, so, you know, I thought, good for you. You know, they're pleasure to be around.
Also, like the social norms are more open to spirituality and things like that. Just like your daughter, she's lucky to have a mom that's not stamping her abilities out of her. You know, you're open to
beating them out, or putting them in the room, or, you know, hiding them in the closet. Oh dear, I was always afraid. Yeah.
I let my kids talk. Like, I listen to them. They teach me, I teach them. We're learning together.
That's how it's supposed to be, because you know, when they just come in to this physical experience, they're more closer to their higher selves. You know, they haven't been trained away from that. They haven't been trained to be an adult and all this stuff that, you know, that kind of covers all that, you know, higher self essence.
Yeah. I'm gonna stay right here.
And
Get my
so
head.
you said something about the veil, like when we come into Earth, like you pass through the veil of forgetfulness.
Mhm.
And you know how, like, I keep hearing about, like, the veil thinning or the veil being lifted. So it would make sense what she's saying, like, kids that are being born now during this time when the veil is thin or lifted, like, they come through remembering more or just knowing.
They're just knowing, you know. They're really focused. And they're starting corporations at age 7. So, you know what I mean? They're just absolutely amazing. But it's usually very humanitarian. You know, it's not capitalism. It's for the whole world. So they, people are hungry and start corporations to help everyone. So amazing.
Yeah.
Or the environment. There's a little Indian boy from Britain. No, he just speaks about the environment. And he's like 7 years old, and everybody, you know, it's just the love. Winning Britain's Got Talent. Just so it's organized this whole school and the teachers and everything to work on the environment and work on Mother Earth.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful thing that, you know, they start these corporations and, you know, these activities and programs at an early age, because, you know, it's historically and scientifically proven that, you know, racism and all those other things that people tend to grow up doing and having is innately not in the children. Right? They're just loving, you know, wild free spirits, and you know, it's a
Hot prejudice. Did you see? You put two babies together,
Yep,
a
they just
black and a
play.
white or a brown and a white, and they just play, you know. They don't sit there. They don't. They don't see color differences. So it's learned. You change the schools. That's what we're teaching ourselves, I
Yeah, but
Yeah.
think. We change the
yeah,
schools.
when you programming it,
Yeah, right.
the spirit connecting.
Mm-hmm.
They feel your energy, they feel your vibe, you know. They're not
Right.
looking at the surface, they're not looking at the outer layer.
Yep.
We need to have schools like
Yeah.
that actually teach what you need to know and it's open.
But
like,
interactive, you know.
yeah, not
just,
these regular schools. Like those
Yeah,
are not real
that's
schools. Like we
cool,
need to. I want to establish that. Like get people who want to teach and like open our own little school for kids to actually learn what's important in life and you know how to live, how to be who they are and use their gifts for their life, like what we're supposed to do, you know, not in school and they're teaching you all this crap, like my
It's
kids
all
show me this homework and I'm like,
memorization, yeah.
for me, I'm like, this is garbage, like this is useless, but I can't tell my kids that because they got to get a grade, you know, so it's like, all right, I'll help you learn this bull crap, but I'm going to teach you the real stuff too at home, like you can't, I don't want them to be brainwashed, you know.
Yeah, just brute memorization, most of it. You know,
Yeah,
don't
that's all it
question,
is.
don't experiment, just learn this.
Montessori school has been evolved a lot.
Right.
With those teachings, because the Montessori school focus on letting the children develop their own talents. So if they're more artistical, then they're going to, give them tools to become artists. If they're more analytical, if their talent is math, if their talent is building,
Or
whatever
technical,
it is,
you know,
whatever it is, they
to give them the tools to build or to experiment. Or,
Nurture their minds
right.
towards what they're passionate about. And that's what
they're introducing environmental consciences and different things. So the Montessori school is
Yeah.
Because I would say like 60 to 70% of the stuff we learn in school we don't even use.
Alright, I don't remember none of it.
Yeah.
I am relearning everything.
Yeah.
I'm learning
Yeah.
too.
Reprogramming.
So it's like you
Yeah.
spend all those years of your life in that place learning a bunch of crap that it's not even useful to you right now.
Yeah, right.
So it's like, wow, like somebody owes me about what,
Yeah,
12,
how many
13 years.
Give me back.
Like, yeah,
Give
give me
it
that
back.
back. I could have been doing something way better than that.
Mhm.
Yeah, but
it's by design, you know. They want you to be a robot.
Yeah.
Robot.
Mhm,
It's about
definitely.
programming, you know. If they let you be yourself and discover yourself, you're not gonna be part of the system.
Right.
That's why we need to make our own system.
That's where we are making.
Yeah, we are. Exactly.
Community.
Right, yes.
The community. That's been my focus. Like that every month, like I do a focus. So like I was telling Dave, the last new moon, my focus was to be aligned. Like I want to be in alignment. So now I am, and now that past new moon that came, my focus is like I'm attracting and manifesting for not only me but like my community. I want us to build our strong foundation, continue to grow and expand, and just have and do everything that we need to do and that we deserve. You know, that we should have. Like everything, all the visions. Like we all have the same vision.
Self-sustaining.
Of
So
what
that-
we
that they're
want. So it's
independent
like,
of any-
yeah, I want to build my own country now.
Yeah, right.
Like, oh, give me the means. So I'm gonna win the
Lotto.
lotto. Watch, I'm gonna win
Yeah,
one
the
of those
lotto.
Powerball lotto,
Yeah, right.
whatever it is.
Buy your
When
own
I do
island,
it,
right?
Yeah, I'm
Start
gonna let
on
you
an
guys know.
island.
And be
Yeah,
like, all right,
start
so
on
what's
an
the plan?
island,
Like,
yeah.
where are we gonna go?
Yeah.
What land you wanna buy? Let me know. Like, what are we gonna build? Because like I'm like, you know, I was talking to God, like, bless me so that I can bless everyone. Like, we're gonna do this. So I'm being patient. I'm just going through the flow, whatever I gotta flow with. And when it comes, you know, we're gonna.
Yeah, I was really hoping
so
for that
happy.
$1 billion. I said, if I can't win it, at least somebody that's going to spread it around.
Right,
you
somebody
know.
that's gonna do
Yeah,
something useful,
right,
meaningful
useful.
with it.
Right.
Make a difference.
Not buy a yacht.
Yeah, my mansion, you know, like,
Yeah, right. 78 pairs of shoes. You got 2 feet, buddy. What do you do with 78 pairs of shoes? Well, not in Melba Marcos here, you know. God. Could have fed a village for just the price of her shoes. Yeah.
So that's why we gotta set our intentions and manifestations now. You know,
and teaching, like, I try to teach my kids that too, like, you know, that, like, the mind is the most important. It's like, you can control your mind, but it's more like learning to focus your mind on what it is that you want, you need at that time, you know?
the attention goes, the energy flows.
Yeah, so I try to tell my kids that. Like, I know they're young, but, like, they're not stupid. Like, they get it. So I told them, you know, because I saw, like, I never watched the news, but my dad's always like, oh, I don't watch the news. So one time he was watching the news, and they actually had a good story on there about a school.
Where?
I forgot
What
where
channel
it
was
was.
this?
Yeah, what channel is that? You don't have to watch
They were
that
talking. They had like 3 students. I think it was like, I'm not sure if it was a college or a high school, but they had put a class in there of meditation. So like it would teach the students, like, you know, to relieve the stress off of them of the studies and all that. Like they taught them meditation, how to like focus their minds, this and that. And it actually made improvements in like 3 different students. And they said how, each student said how taking that course helped them, like not only in school
So it's a
and
life
like
skill, really.
yeah,
Meditation is
not
a
only
life
in school
skill.
but like with their families, having their relationships, like it helped them. So I'm like, okay, if they're like, hello, they're putting it on the news, so let's do that in these schools. Like you need to have that to help them to like, because in school it's like, oh, you gotta have this paper due by that time. I want a 500-page essay about some stupid crap that doesn't even matter, and you gotta turn it in there, present it, and like they put so much pressure and work and deadlines, and so it's just stress. So like, how can someone operate like that? They need to teach them, how to manage yourself, manage your mind, take time to relax, like de-stress, all of that, and it helped those students. So they should do that in every single school. That's what made me think like I want to make my own school. Right, more recess.
Yeah, right. But then it teaches social skills. Recess is very important. It teaches, how to interact and everything, and how to purpose not being chosen or whatever. You really need, recess is really important. It is. It's a way to blow off steam.
Yeah, like let all that stressful energy you have pent up in your body from, I gotta take this test, like let it loose, you just run free,
No, I agree.
Why communities like this are, so important, especially going through this healing journey, this growing journey, because the more you grow, the more things change about you, and the more that people you thought were your friends aren't your friends anymore because they're not on the same vibration anymore. So that's one thing that we got to accept in our mindset is that if I don't have people around me that's trying to elevate like I am, they're usually just going to fall out of my life. So I can't be disappointed or upset or, mad that, that people that I grew up with that I thought, they were going to be there forever, but not.
That's just your family member.
Of course. Yeah. I've heard that everybody has to be on the chopping block, meaning that if they're not in alignment with your highest good and with your journey and with that higher vibration, it doesn't matter who they are. It can be mom, dad, husband, wife, brother, sister, auntie, uncle. They're not on your team anymore. It's either
you're not serving them, they're not serving you. Neither one is.
Because that's how energy works.
There's friction.
Either it connects or it
And
disconnects.
then, it's more
Yeah.
ride the wave.
That's how, I don't know if I was telling you, I know I was talking to Inez about it. Like, in the summer, I had went back to Cleveland, where I'm from, to visit family and stuff. And, for so long, being here, sometimes I feel sad or whatever because, I miss my family and I just want to reconnect with them and, talk to them, tell them, share my journey with them, everything I've experienced and, I want to share that because, we would always share stuff. And then when we went up there, I felt, so weird. It was so awkward. I didn't belong there. And everybody was kind of we were just not on the same. I felt like they were stuck in a time loop, and I was not. And I'm just looking at everybody I feel like I just walked back into the past or something, I stepped backwards, and it was really weird. And even now, ever since my trip to Cleveland, I didn't get to talk to the people that I seen everybody, but we didn't have those deep conversations that I wanted to have. And they're the things they talk about is just it didn't appeal to me, it wasn't there, and I was just damn, they're just not on my, they're not even ready to hear what I have to say, to hear my experience. So I just did my own thing up there, and then when I came back here, nobody talked to me. Some of my cousins, my older cousins, they'll contact me, but the two that I was really close with, they don't even speak to me. At least they used to text me Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Birthday, nothing. Holidays passed, my birthday passed, nobody said nothing. They act like I did something to them. I'm well, damn, So now I don't feel so sad about them anymore. I'm I understand now. I had a dream about this before. So my dream told me, and then I experienced it now. So now I understand completely, and I don't feel bad about it. I just hope that someday they can get out of that time loop, that stagnant energy that they're in.
Yeah, because it's crazy, but people grow up thinking that they're supposed to stay the same. And that's the exact opposite of how the universe works. The only constant in the universe is change.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yes. So trying to stay the same is trying to go insane.
But it's also against nature. It's also the way it is.
The way I see it, though, change is right, but the way I see it, I see it more as growth.
Of course.
It's about growth.
Not growing,
so, your perspective of your family member, what it is that to them, they're looking at you and thinking that you have changed. But you have just basically grown. And they are just stuck at the level that they're going to look at you and think something is wrong with you. And you can't relate to them because they're not growing and elevating. That's all it is.
And I remember my cousin, she kept mentioning, everybody thinks they're better than us. Other family members and other people think that they're better than them. But I'm thinking, in reality, nobody's thinking they're better than you. You are thinking that they are better than you. You're putting yourself down, thinking that you're less than everyone else when you're not. So that's a personal problem, you know. Like I didn't see nothing. I'm like, well, I'm here. If I thought I was better than you, I wouldn't be here. And I don't think I'm better than nobody. Like I wanted to share this because I want them to, you know, to hear what I have to say, and hopefully it makes, you know, it helps them grow too, you know. Because when I hear other people's stories of what they've been through, it helps me grow. Because I'm like, oh, they went through that. Like, you know, I have I have their perspective on what they went through, and I like just gives you way more ways to tackle different things that you're going through by hearing everyone else's story. I started like listening to people. So I'm like, oh, I thought I could do that for them, you know, like tell them, oh, look, I learned about this and this and that. Like I know these things can help them in a big way, but they weren't trying to hear it, you know. So I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
Like,
So that's good.
But you can also plant the seed, though.
Yeah.
Maybe at some point, that little tiny seed that you planted, they'll remember it. Something will trigger, and they'll remember.
That's what I'm
Oh,
hoping.
that's what she was talking about.
That's what Inez told me too.
Yeah.
She's like, just, you know, keep being positive. Just keep, like, don't block them off your social media or whatever. Because my cousin had wrote something on there, and I was like, okay, it was like indirect, you know, towards me, obviously. But then she deleted it afterwards. So I never addressed it to her. I'm like, I don't care about it. You know, it's meaningless to me. So I'm like, at first I was upset. I was like, you know, I should just delete them. You know, like they don't need to see my life if it bothers them so much. But then I'm like, you know what? No, I'm gonna keep everybody there, and I'm just gonna keep posting things about, you know, love. Like everything I write, like okay, I love everybody. That like I give good messages for everybody who's on there, no matter who it is, whether we talk every day or not. Like I mean you too when I write this message. So this goes out for everybody. So I just keep spreading my positivity, my love for everybody. And if they think it's not genuine, then that's their problem, you know? Because everything I say comes from the heart. And that's what had upset me about my cousin, because I said something from the heart and she thought it was like nothing, you know? So I was like, oh, like how dare you, you know? Like that was from my soul, my heart and soul. I was going through something in that moment and I sent that out, and you just took it as like if it was nothing. So that's fine, you know? I'll keep my treasures here.
That's why it's great to, you know, stay humble and not fall into that spiritual superiority. And, you know, just try to love them at the place that they are, you know. And we all come in this physical experience to learn and grow anyways. And sometimes, even though you might know exactly what they need to hear or exactly what's going on, they have to go through that journey on their own. You know, and it's just, you know, your job as being at I don't want to say higher place, because we're not falling into that spiritual superiority. It's just being at a more aware place. And, you know, just being open and ready for that moment when they do, you know, see what you're going through and see the help that you can provide. And, you know, they reach out. And that's when that, you know, that door opens for them to grow, and you can help them out.
So I was just thinking about that word too, door. Like when you said that, I was like, it's like I left my doors open, and if they want to come through, they can. If they're not ready to, that's fine. But I'm still gonna continue on.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like.
Yeah, you don't want to, you know, fall back into the old frequency, you know, what happens. You know.
Yeah.
That's why, you know, you moved away. And things like that.
I said I couldn't wait. The second day there, I couldn't wait to come back. We were gonna be there for almost 2 weeks, and I'm like, I'm dying here. Get me out of this place.
You feel that energy.
Yeah, the energy there was just so.
It's especially hard for the empaths.
Yeah.
One of the big things in life is that people just don't understand that we're just all different. You know what I mean? Imagine we all being sheep. You know, we need lions, we need buffaloes, we need this. And the system has everybody under that sheep mentality. So now when you step out and try to be different and just be yourself, you're judged by that, or you look at it like something is wrong with you. You're just trying to live your life, your purpose, your calling, versus trying to fit in like everybody else is trying to fit in. Nobody wants to stand out. You understand?
And they care about what everyone else thinks. That's how my dad was like, he got upset with me at a point. He was like saying stuff to me, and I was like, I didn't come here to be judged by nobody. Like if people don't want to be around me, then that's fine. Like I'm not going to be around nobody. So I stayed to myself. I took my kids. We went to the parks, like it's called Metro Park. So we're like in the forest. We were in the river. We were like that was my favorite place there. That's it. I'm like I come to Cleveland for this and the zoo, and that's it.
Yeah.
You know. So like I was in my happy place there.
Like the day that we came over here, I felt so much pain on that bird. I can't believe animals in cages.
I know. I felt bad for the animals.
I sense their energy. You know, I feel them. Even though people have good
I said there's
intentions,
Yumi.
but still keep
Yumi
it
is
in
very
the
happy.
cage.
Yumi is very special.
Bring bats and create a system around. Like,
We need more space.
Yeah.
I felt bad like for the
What bird are you
cheetahs. It's
talking
my
about?
favorite animal, and they have like a small
that
space.
was a really big bird in a small cage.
Yeah.
I came over here last time I was at base, and when I got closer to the cage, I mean, like the bird came right to me, and it was just like he was just telling me that you need to go, you need to go, you need freedom, you need freedom, and he was. I can sense he was not talking about himself. He was talking about the person that was captain in the cage, and he couldn't go until she was free.
Wow.
So he was trapped, but inherently, so she had to be free in order to the bird.
She just quit and set him free. I quit.
And if she set him free, she will be free, but she's trapped on that point. You know, I don't know what pain it is. I don't know what it is, but I can talk to the bird.
Oh, that's great. That's a good.
You get the message.
That reminds.
Very connected. Very,
That's it.
when I go to the farm, then or anywhere, when I'm doing meditation, if I'm outside, the birds they normally come.
Well, then you come
Yeah, I was just gonna say that reminds me. I had a monkey training.
Really? What kind of monkey? A cappuccino?
And I had it from school, man.
Did you
Like,
find them? You like found them? Or how'd you
no,
get them?
no, I bought it.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I bought it, yeah.
That's exciting.
My cousin had a monkey, and the relationship they had, the monkey would be on his shoulder, just hold him, you know, had on the
Sleep
pamper,
with them,
just
yeah.
relax. And I was like, wow. So
get
I
them
ran out and bought me a monkey.
Yeah.
And I tell you, man, myself and this monkey had a great relationship, you know what I mean? But to your point, as the monkey grew, it would be all over the house, damaging stuff, pulling stuff, biting wire. And I used to get mad at the monkey for being a monkey. You understand? For doing what a monkey would do. He would go up on the electrical wire and spin and jump on the tree, go over by the neighbor house, and because we got galvanized roof, so you could hear it, and jump on the roof, bang, 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 picking up the mango, the tree. It just became too much. Yeah, you know, and I didn't really have the space for him. So I had to give, man, that was one of the hardest things I had to go through because we had a connection, but I just couldn't keep it. I didn't have the space for it. So to your point, you know, when you have these, you gotta let them go. They have to be in the environment. Leopard? Phantom?
No, there's like an equipment over here that a bomber. Yeah.
She is reasonably small.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she was about, she was about this big. My dad had a lumber yard, so cutting trees everywhere. Then it was get away, come and sit with us and things, but as it grows, it evolves, right? It's a space. And we get tangled in things, and we get hurt. But we live in the city. We live in the town. We don't.
Right.
So we took to the farm. Every once in a while, we would be able to see it. We would still come close to people, and still. But we would still come to the farmhouse, and they have somewhat of connection, but it was never the same. Still see it as friend, as attached as it was.
They protected. Mine used to be on my shoulder. We would go to the grocery store, you would just chill, hold on. If we was cool, he would come, you know what I mean? But certain people that he didn't know, he would play up for them a little bit, show his teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I tell you, a monkey is probably the closest thing you can get to a human. As close to a human as you can get.
Yeah, really genetically.
Yeah.
You talk, the head,
That's
eye expressions. It's like captured.
I just saw something in there. Monkeys are better than humans. You put the numbers on the screen, and they can go and remember exactly the sequence of the number. The people are going, but the monkeys can do it perfectly. They just point and it's exactly the order. They only see it for a couple of seconds, and they go and they put it on and they retrace exactly the same number. Oh my God! I could. That. Yeah, they are highly intelligent. Peaceable kingdom.
So are we just being programmed as they are, right? To stay in the house, to do little things, and in the beginning you stay with us in our shoulders and connected with us, and then now here we are, right? Jumping off the box and exploring new things and going, farther and farther. But with the Kabbalah teachings, there is always, as us, right? As we're looking at each other, there is a part of you, like the most evolved part of you, reflects on us, so we can be the most evolved as you are in that level. And then the most evolved part of you, as we meditate together, as we connect it, everybody that is in the lower level, that on that vibration that we are, you rise us together. We're just boosted up with the pyramid, with each one of us. So all that we have, that we want to share, that we are, the knowledge that we are acquiring, the light that we have seen, we are able to tap into each other's life. Obviously, we have to be willing to. If we're not receptive, we're not. But the most important thing about being together with elevated souls is that we are elevating ourselves. And I elevate one where I can, you elevate one where you can, and we are all elevating each other. And then as we spread out, we're all stronger. We're all more powerful. And that's how we spread the light. With each other.
Right codes, right frequencies,
Yeah.
right language.
The right. I want to share something with the Kabbalah teachings with you guys. So today is the second day of the Pesach. So there are 12 days until we get to Easter. It's this when people got in the Bible story that they got out of Egypt. So the moment that they got cast out of Egypt, because they didn't want to leave. Right? they have houses in there. They were in the system, right? The system was working. So why we're going to go adventure in the desert? But when Moses and the whole story happens with all of the plagues, when the primogen, the first son, but when the first son died for everyone, then the Pharaoh said, no, you guys are out of here. Get your stuff and go. So in that journey, we are in the second day of that journey. So there's a lot of challenges, there's a lot of emotions, there's a lot of things that we have to transcend in order for us to create new cycles. So each day of this journey, we represent one lunar cycle. So we are in the Taurus lunar cycle today. So today we have the tendency of kind of like stay within. We have the tendency, all the negative parts of Taurus are challenging us in order for us to break that creed and for us to evolve. And that will determine the blessings and all of the flow that will come to our lives in the month of Taurus for the next cycle. So, day 2, tips for the month of Taurus. Avoid being comfortable. It is uncomfortable to grow. Listen to others, embrace discomfort, actively share with others, transform complicity in movement, coming out of their comfort zone. So there are letters, those letters, there are codes. So even if we don't understand what those letters are saying, if you trace the letters backwards, those codes are decoding the program that is in our mind. So you go face the letters, and then you're able to evolve. And then the meditation goes, I clearly see my personal limitations. Looking in the past, I notice all of the instances where my ego has kept me imprisoned, holding me back from true joy and fulfillment. So you probably feel, sadness or, like a blue feeling from whatever thoughts and memories that comes into your mind for whatever reason. As I focus on the light of the Creator, the transformative energy of the Divine washes over me, and I feel free. No more complaining, no more frustration. I will not get caught up into the material world. Instead, I will be looking beyond into the spiritual realm and let go, freeing myself from the trappings of this. So there's 12 prayers, there's 12 days. We are on the second day of this journey. I can share the screen.
The thing is, did you say this yesterday?
Started in the sun. Yeah. Started in the sunset from yesterday, and ends the sunset today. So today at sunset, we sit down if we can at sunset. If you can't, after the sunset, we sit down, we do a meditation, you trace your eyes over to the letters, and then light up a candle and just connect. And you prepare yourself. Like last night, you kind of like prepare yourself for the sunrise and for all the challenges that you have to overcome this day in order for us to create a new
All of that.
Yeah. That is actually in the, I don't think it's in the Shambhala tribe, but I'll share this with her.
Yeah, if you could share it to the tribe, that way we could pick it up from there. You wouldn't have to give it to us individually. So, good thing.
I want to give everybody an opportunity to share one thing that they would like to improve or attribute about themselves. So I'll go first. I want to be more consistent, not allow feelings that arise from things not going my way or being tired from the day or whatever to get in my path of what I'm trying to complete or even just being on time, things like that. So,
I want to be more open, forming new connections, just trying to learn, live properly. For me, as myself, like I usually, I don't know, I think my transition over here to the U.S. just kind of had me more to myself, you know, and that's how I learn, that's how I grow. Like I get a lot of insights just being by myself, but I gotta come out that shell and just, you know, mingle and learn and grow. So
And me is letting go. Definitely letting go. Definitely. And so that was a biggie for me. I let go with my abode and everything. And it was so cool. I actually cleaned the window. It had been sitting there looking at this smudge for a long time. I didn't have time, but I cleaned the window and said, oh wow, the view isn't quite so bad once I cleaned the window. So yeah, just letting go and trusting that the forever home will appear for me. That's it. And just enjoy what be grateful for what I have, and just look to the future, but don't try to grab it. You know, just let me flow into the future. That's it. I like that. Flow into the future.
I like all three of that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, yeah, that.
Yeah. I like that because it's nice. Flow into the future.
Yeah.
Flow into the
So like
future.
what they said.
Yeah.
Flowing, like with the whole situation with my car, like I just got my car up and running again yesterday, but I hadn't drove it for like 3 weeks, and like I'm a person, I'm always on the go, and I'm like, I need my car. But like the whole time, like I wasn't like, it's just been very eventful the past few weeks, like every single day. But like how I was telling Dave, I wanted to be in alignment, right? So I was in alignment, and like I kept getting the message to like just be patient, like just flow, like she's saying, just flow. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna remember that message. So every day something new happens, but like I was able to just flow with it and just handle what I needed at that moment. And my car, like being down, wasn't such a big issue, because normally I'd be like really stressed and frustrated, overwhelmed because my car's not working. You know, but like I was good. Like even though crazy stuff was happening, but I was going through it. Like I was good, just going with the flow. So I wanted to do that more. You know, just be more patient, just let things go, you know, naturally how it's supposed to go. And I do want to be more open, like sharing what I have to give more instead of just, you know, a little bit here, a little bit there. Like I want to, like how I was talking earlier, like I want to build the foundation. Like give me the lotto. Like I want to do what I want to, you know, what I have to do. Like what I have in here. Well, but with the money, like the funds will come and we will do. But, you know, patience.
Give me patience
flowing
now.
Towards that.
Give me patience now. I love that.
And
one.
Consistency. Yeah. Patience now.
Patience now. I want patience right now.
Right now.
I want it all.
I have it now. It's just, you know, it's coming. Right now, it's coming. But being more consistent too, like with my like focus, being more consistent with how I focus my energy, and not falling back into old like patterns, like reactions, like so that message about the patience, because like, you know, my old pattern is like my energy even follows the pattern, which I noticed, and I'm like, that's crazy. Like not only do your thought, like your mind will go to a certain pattern, but like your energy too. So like if my energy is used to being like every time something happens, then it wants to do that, even though I know everything's gonna be fine and I don't need to do that. So the message about the patience like really helped me to break out of that old energy pattern, you know, that old negative habit that I had of wanting to react a certain way when I don't really need to. So being more consistent on that, and giving what I have to offer, like shining my light more, and just going with the flow and letting everything, just knowing that everything is going good and everything's good.
It's all working out for your
Yeah,
good.
everything was working out. New beginning, new everything, and I'm like so happy. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
It's supposed to be one thing, but
Sorry, but it was one
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
It was
Let it out.
everybody's life.
Yeah.
Yes.
It comes like she said, let it flow. It
Flows
comes right
right,
into
flows right into that. Yes. Now
And you
it's
flew.
Yeah.
flew.
With the flow.
I have to.
Right.
spread your wings.
I would suggest that I have to figure out how I can communicate better. Just because I think that I listen pretty well, but I don't really express my opinions that much for the most part. And unfortunately, the reason why I feel that I have to express my opinions more often is because I do have good opinions. And
They're
I
not
would.
opinions, I'm sorry.
Okay.
They're wisdoms.
Well,
When
that's-
you say things, we all listen.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you. The thing is,
Your
I
values,
don't.
brother.
I don't say it enough. I don't say it enough, unfortunately. And I recognize that, and I believe that I have to talk more. But the thing is, I'm analyzing, continuously analyzing.
Yeah.
And Taurus.
Yeah.
No.
And Taurus is out.
Let him express himself.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So with that being said, I really have to focus on communicating more.
Stand for something or fall for it. Really. You gotta let everyone know where you stand. And it's up to them how they react or how they flow with that information. They're either reactive or they're accepting. But it's not up to you to determine that.
And that's the thing is I do recognize that. You know, before I may not have even thought about it, but now I recognize it, and that's why I really do have to communicate a lot.
Oh, for me, it's letting go control. I live my life with the kids on my own. There's nobody else doing anything. So you create that path that everything is. If I didn't do it, nobody can do it. And I have to just break it out of that. Be able to receive, be able to open my heart to joy, open my heart to lightness, open my heart to happiness, open my heart to integration.
Very hard to get to a closed fist. If you got the control, how's anybody going to give you? Really? If you think about it. Where's the room to get in? It's closed.
I love it.
And one thing I want to say, back to the growth and this healing journey that we're going through, we have to give ourselves grace. And remember that, we're not perfect. We're allowed to make mistakes. And I'm not saying, give yourself grace and just like, hey, I'm just going to be lazy. I'm not going to do anything. No, I'm not saying that. But just don't be so hard on yourself, And I'm speaking to myself in this moment because I can be very hard on myself. So, and we have to be able to give ourselves grace and not, be so hard on ourselves because, the worst judge is ourselves.
Yeah.
And we can hurt ourselves the most, just, the way we think. And
If we get out of our way, everything will do that.
and the thing is like, if we can't give ourselves grace, how can we expect anybody else to give it to us?
Right.
So that's a very important thing. And we have to love ourselves to the fullest. Because it's another thing, if we can't love ourselves, how can anybody else love ourselves? Love us. Just, how it goes, it's give and take on every level. And understanding that we're gonna reach the place that we want to reach, regardless, as long as we keep our eyes on the prize and keep that awareness and that attention to it. The universe is always working with us, not against us. It will conspire for you, not against you.
Also, what we think is the prize is maybe as a youngster, that prize will be totally different. As you age, as you learn what's really important, you thought that the car, the college education, the good job, that was the most important thing in the world. And now we've learned it's more community and pulling others up rather than just for ourselves. You win, we all win. Yes, yes, yes.
One thing I always said is, the things that are most important to us in our lives is the things that we can't see. Like air, love, respect, compassion. All of these things is not something that you could put in your hands and hold.
Intangibles versus tangibles.
Exactly.
That's that prize that you get.
And like once you cultivate these things, in all reality, they could never be taken away from you. Your house, your car, money, all that can be taken away from you. But your self-worth, your love, gratitude, respect, all those things can't be taken away. And they're more valuable than any gold or silver or whatever you can obtain to buy things in life, anything. You can go a day without water, you can go a day without food, but you can't go 5 minutes without air. You can't. You need life force, you need oxygen. You need that breath. That's something you can't see. It's probably one of the most important things. As I was telling my brother the other day, spirit, it simply means breath. So, spirit is all around us. Spirit is everything. It's the life force. It's what we breathe. It's, everybody knows when you stop breathing, you're dead. So, spirit has left you. So, spirit is everything. And it's something you'll never be able to see, especially in its physical form. You know it's there, you feel it. So if we can cultivate this mindset to focus on, the more important things, all this other stuff, secondary will just come. Because in reality, without that, it wouldn't be that. Without the intangible, it wouldn't be tangible.
Spirit breathes life into your life, into your projects, into your relationships. Just allow spirit to breathe life. Even into situations, even in so-called hopeless situations. And that's why I tell my story. Doctor told me I was going to die. No. I went and learned pranic healing. And literally. I said, what if I got to lose? The authority is saying I'm going to die if I get a flu or anything. I don't want to live anybody. So COVID came. I had to decide what to do. So I went out and did everything. Just like normal, If I meant to die, I meant to die. I lived my life rather than close in and sit there with masks and live in the house, and fear.
Fear of death is more worse than dying.
Yeah, and that's what it is with COVID. With Dr. Emoto's work, they took a picture of COVID It was kind of shady a little bit, but they took severe COVID, and that was the most ugly thing you ever saw. It was all misshapen and like flaws in it, and it was just after service. It's just the fear. It's the fear of COVID.
With the picture of it?
Dr. Emoto did.
Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't not him, but you know,
There's
yeah,
the research.
Yes, they did the fear of COVID, and that was the worst. And so fear is one of the most ugly things in the world because it's just fear. It's fear of love. And so you love the life you have, and if it's going to be short, you love it as long as you have it. You know, rather than be in fear, it's going to be taken away. Just live each moment. That's it. Just live each moment like it's your last. You know that song? But if you do that, if everybody do that, then you're going to do it. But you want to know my thing for world peace? Is everybody ready for a laugh? Are you really ready for this? Let's all wear nice silky pajamas. And who in the world could wage war against somebody that's all chilled out and wearing silky pajamas? You know
doing
what I mean?
Tai Chi.
Yeah, doing Tai Chi. That's my world peace, you know. Just sit there, oh, you know, I like yours, you know, where'd you buy it? You know, it's there. Because I love my pajamas. My neighbors know I love my pajamas. Sometimes I go out in my pajamas, you know, I don't care. I'm happy in my pajamas. If I had lived in pajamas, but just be
Be your
happy.
neighbor. You can live in pajamas.
Pajama community.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but that
I
would
can
be
live
good.
in a nude community.
Oh, me too. It wouldn't bother me. No, it would.
That
I
would be
totally.
ideal.
Nothing wouldn't bother me at all.
Yeah.
Except for I'd have
That'd
to.
be
No,
ideal.
I couldn't because I have to have my sun protected. I can't be. Oh no. Because I'm so happy with this. You know, I'm so grateful. You don't know. There's no words to express how grateful I am for this. You know, all the worry and everything. So
In your
$19.
nude community with your
Yeah,
hat
yeah,
and your glasses.
Yeah, I have a picture of myself in my weed warrior outfit. You know, I got my long sleeves and everything, and I got a pollen hood. All I can see is my glasses. Oh, look at this. And that's
Looking like a
it. Yeah, that's what yeah.
Like a beekeeper.
Yeah, that's it. That's me. But
I want to have
out
the
there.
bee farms.
Or you
Yeah.
would think there's one that is making them.
Natural bee farm. They can come
Yeah.
and go, but just do what they do.
There's like right
Yeah,
on
well-
my front door. There's a small tree that I planted. Not that small anymore. But I was out there on the phone yesterday, and I could hear the vibration. I'm like, that's not an enrichment. That's not a machine.
Yeah.
And then I got off the phone and I started looking around. Oh, I took a picture, but it's like this big. I'm sure somebody is gonna have to come do something.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's kids and a lot of traffic that goes around.
Mm-hmm.
I know how to catch too.
Mm.
The meat.
Yeah. Good. Get a queen bee. That's all you need.
That's
A
it.
queen bee
the
and milk
queen is
her,
in
then,
the
yeah.
queen. The queen is in the center.
Right.
The other
Right. But
bees
the
are within
yeah, but
layers.
if you move the whole hive and everything, you know, you could even the worker bees that are outside will find the queen.
They will find-
They'll find the queen. Sometimes it's a couple days later, but then here they come. But bees are amazing. Ants are amazing, except for fire ants. I'm sorry.
These are amazing.
Except for fire ants. Because I'm
These
kind
are
of
amazing.
allergic. Yeah,
Except
except
when they bite.
for the wasp. Yeah, except for the wasp. You know, but I think that one time, though, this is really remarkable. I have wasps and I have my spray there because they sting my butterflies. You know, I get very upset, so I spray. I have my spray ready. And I just couldn't make it in time because the wasp stung the butterfly. And I was sitting there crying, oh, I love you, please. So as soon as I put my hands on it, that poor butterfly. And it was just like this. On it. I love you so much. I'm so sorry I couldn't get there in time. Okay.
Flying up.
Yeah, Carla was with me. Yeah, so I had really happy. Yeah, good. It was my thought.
Sally leaves around you.
She was 20 minutes. You know, so it's not close, it's just far. So, you know. Yeah, she has, she goes to butterflies. I grow moss. You know.
Okay, I got another question for everybody. What's the one most profound thing that impacted you that you learned the most
In your whole entire life? Or
in your healing
short?
journey,
In,
spiritual healing
okay.
journey?
In your spiritual healing.
Yeah, yeah. And well, I'll start off. For me, is realizing and understanding and moving with the mindset that everything is a lesson. Everything is an opportunity to grow. And, not taking anything personal, and being able to change my perception to expand my horizon. Because it's always a different outlook on things, and there's always a big picture. So, thank you.
For me, it's realizing how powerful that we really are as human beings, and bringing what we really need into reality, manifesting. Like for me, I was just meditating a lot. In New York, I was going through a lot of stress. I was like, I gotta move. I meditated about Florida. For some reason, Florida was just in my heart. You know what I mean? And without even knowing where the opportunity was going to come, boom, a house just opened up for me. So here I am in Florida. So it's just, understand that, whatever you pray, as long as you ask for it sincerely,
That's for your highest good. You don't want to pray for something that's like something evil or something, but for your highest good, as long as you pray for your highest good. Yeah, well, there's some people. Oh, I know. I got stories to tell you, that pray for evil things, you know what I mean? Horrible. So
as long
pray
as
for the highest
as long
good.
as it's in alignment
Yes.
with your highest
Yes,
self.
for your higher self and the others that you might be hating against or something, like a war or something. Mine is a very strange one. It started me on my questioning one. I lived in a mobile home park, and there was this brother and sister there. And the boy was the most beautiful boy you ever saw. He was slim, and he had blue blonde hair. He was very fine toned. And the girl was a fullback. She picked up her own motorcycle and everything, but it said and taught me to question. Before that, I was a very phobic person and everything. Well, these people are different, and they're bad and everything. I was raised really weird, but that was the accepted thing. Anything different was bad. So I just said, nature, God allowed them to be this way. There must be a reason for it, and they're a part of it too. And so, but it totally shifted my thinking. That to look at things differently. That each one has their own value and everything, and just because that wasn't my pattern, my preconceived pattern of the way men should be and women should be and everything, and it was still very viable, but it taught me to question. So that's my unusual, but that's question, to look at things differently.
Okay, I'll keep it to one this time.
Do you
Boring.
think? Yeah.
Oh, good. It's
Don't let nobody take you out.
Right.
Just
Yeah, if you're
just
in the
flow.
flow,
Yeah,
if
just
you're
flow.
flowing,
Yeah.
if you're flowing,
Everybody here is just no rush. Just do it.
yeah.
I just had to poke you. That was it.
For me, it's I don't know. There's so many things I could say, but awareness, just like when you're aware of everything, of how this is a good one here. The study of myself when the biggest thought was like, okay, if everyone and everything is a reflection of me, right? We're all reflections of each other. Then I could see myself. I could see things about myself in Dave, and I can understand Dave through my own. So like when he talks to me through me, and the same thing with Carla, same thing with you. So it's like, oh, I can relate to everybody, and I understand them in a way. Like even if I don't speak it, but like I feel it. Like I can feel you. I feel you in me. So that proves to me like we are all reflections of each other. Everything is one. So like that with that one thought, that it just brings so many other things, you know. So like my brain, I like to learn about things too. You know, I'm always thinking about stuff, connecting the dots between everything that I've ever experienced and everyone that I talked to, everyone's stories, things that I've read about, like just everything you can possibly think of. I like to connect the dots, and it all makes sense. You know, something will always prove something else to be true. Or like, you know, like we'll open up a new thing and I'll be like, oh, I gotta research about that now because I'm curious about this. And then I figure out like, I don't know. It's just studying myself too, like I was saying. I'm not gonna get so much into it, but like being aware of myself, of like my body, like everything, like the changes that happens in my body, and like the time of the day or the time of the year, or like, you know, the moon cycles, and like just everything, like how everything reflects off of you or within you, however you want to say it. Like by studying myself and how I feel, what I experience during these times, or what I feel, or how my body feels, or what are my thoughts, like what do I keep thinking about during this time, or what am I wanting to do, like, you know, urges, like just like document everything about myself, and that's what I learn about everything, life, the universe, the world, everything.
I would say that how unimportant my ego was, because that's the thing is I used to be a really egotistical guy, and it was always about me, and like how much money can I make, how can I make this better, how can I make this better, and so on and so forth. But the great thing is God blessed me with a stroke. Slapped me right in the side of my head. And boy, that was a wake up. I mean, it was a total wake up call. Because I couldn't even manage a conversation. A conversation was difficult for me. I mean, it was so overwhelming for me because I thought, first off, I thought I could understand, or I thought I was saying stuff and thought I was getting this message across, but what you guys would have heard was and that was it. But I thought I had said exactly what was in my head, and I'm like, what the heck is wrong? Why are these people not understanding? Yeah, why don't they understand me? I don't understand what's going on here. And it took me a long time to figure that out, but what I feel is that the ego is unimportant. It's not as important to me as it used to be, because I actually can feel